Welcome to the another episode of the Invincible Journey. And today we have a great invincible or warrior on the show, and it's Sonia Dabir for you guys. And a little brief about who she is. And with this brief, you would be very sure and very acclaimed that she's one of the great personality we have in sports. So Sonia represented Maharashtra, West Zone, Karnataka, South Zone, India A, and Indian team. She also represented India from 2010 to 2014. She played T20 World Cup 2014 and was a member of the 2010 T20 World Cup team. She made her India debut in 2010 in the home series against England. She played against England, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, West Indies, South Africa, New Zealand, Bangladesh. She also represented Indian team from 2010 to 2014, as I mentioned. She was also awarded Women of the Match versus Pakistan. And I guess many people are happy now because it's against Pakistan in the 2014 T20 World Cup. She also played domestic cricket for 12 years from Maharashtra and also 1 year from Karnataka. She led a Maharashtrian team at senior level, which was under 19. She also led the West Zone team at under 19 level. She was awarded as the Women of the Match multiple times. So, guys, with these achievements, my words fall short in honoring such a great personality, and I'm really thankful to get you on board for this short interview. So, thank you for
Thank
your
you
time.
so much. Thank you very much. I'm honored too as well.
Thank you so much. So, before we start with everything, uh, Indian cricket has been a huge stakeholder in Indian sports, and people love watching cricket. Every lane, there are kids and players who want to wish to play in the IPL or in the greater stage in the Indian senior team. So, with this craziness comes glamour, comes fame, comes money. So, all this time, women cricket back then did not have that recognition which we have now, like the women's IPL. But back there, that time, we did not have that women's cricket in picture. So with all this chaos and all these factors into consideration, when did you start playing cricket, and why did you choose to get into this mainstream sport, which back then was a men's sport?
To be very honest, like any other kid, I used to play in my society building gully with all the boys over there. And I had no idea where I could get a proper coaching. So I myself, to be honest, started cricket after my 10th standard.
Mhm.
Fortunately, in that summer vacation, I saw an ad in the newspaper about cricket coaching, which was starting at Nehru Stadium in Pune. So I used to love watching cricket. I used to play, and I had a very what I can say passion about that game from my childhood itself. So when I got the news that you get a coaching also about in women's cricket, so I was the first one like in my family to join some cricket coaching class. So it's the journey I started from Nehru Stadium actually after my 10th standard.
Right. So that was really amazing because you don't have women cricketers or women players who come up forward and take the sport as a passion and make a career in it. So it was really commendable. So as I was mentioning the same, women don't have a support from their family in all fields, not only in sports, but sports is an abstract field wherein uh, that's dicey situation, and the family gets skeptical whether to put girls in sports or put women in sports because our mentality or our Indian society doesn't allow us to do that. But coming forward, you joined cricket, you started cricket coaching, as you mentioned, at the Nehru Stadium. How did your family react to this? How did your parents react to this? And did you get the possible support you get from your family?
Before answering this question, I would just like to add something in the previous question.
Yeah, for sure.
My love for the game was always there, definitely, but I had seen the 1996 Women's World Cup on television, and that was where I was like, oh, okay, there is a proper coaching held, and I can go into this. Now,
Right.
coming back to this question, I am being very lucky. It will be really a surprise to many that I played after my marriage also for 3 to 4 years, and my in-laws were equally supportive as my parents.
Oh, that's a blessing, I can say.
Yeah, that
That's
is really a blessing because it's not that nowadays parents or in-laws don't support, but after marriage, many things are in everyone's mind, about kids and all, but still they kept on supporting, and equally my parents have been supportive for a longer period, because until now also in my coaching they help me a lot. I have a daughter who is 5 years old, so sometimes she is with them because I have to go for coaching. So that support has been consistent till date.
That's a blessing, because many women players, or we connect to or we talk to, they have sustained their careers. They couldn't go to the bigger platform due to responsibilities or due to many other factors which are considered. But that's a blessing that your in-laws also supported you to uh, go and play on the field. But coming to this question, one more thing which comes in my mind when we talk about women cricketers or women players, back then your family or in-laws had a progressive mindset, but there were many majority of women cricketers or women players who couldn't go to the next platform, or couldn't have to sustain their career or give up their career due to family pressure and societal pressure. So what, according to you, has changed about the mindset of women in sports back then and now, current scenario?
See, one thing I'll tell you for sure is that the way any game is promoted or
Hmm.
the marketing of the game is done, it is obvious from a parent point of view that, when a girl, especially who is nearing a 24 or 25
Right,
age group, she
right,
has to have a family, like getting married,
right,
financial support. Back then when I played, there was Air India team and Railways team. Now also you have Indian Railways team. Unfortunately, Air India team could not be continued.
right,
But back then, Indian Railways or like Western Railway, there are many other railways, inter railways they have. So these people were giving, institutions were giving them a job. So somewhere those who were in this railway team or joining the railway job, they had that financial security. So coming back to the financial aspect or the support which the women got that time, was they had that passion for the game, and
mhm,
somewhere they knew that it was, financially also they are, when I started playing, there was no money paid to play.
right,
But when BCCI came into the picture, everything changed in a very good way. We were
right,
getting paid to play, and that was the thing which helped parents also to, get that assurance that even if my daughter is going to play, she's going to get paid, she's going to be financially a bit settled than before.
right,
So BCCI has got very big role in supporting women cricketers and
right.
helping their parents, believe that they can take this sport as a profession.
Right, exactly. So BCCI came in picture, and they literally just changed the scenario for Indian cricket, and we all have seen how BCCI has grown in terms of financially, in terms of goodwill, and in terms of reputation as well. But there's a thing when we talk about women and men, it's always about, there's a small part which is always hidden or underdog. It's about discrimination, or it's about the way people look at men's cricket and the way people look at women's cricket. So women's cricket don't have that exposure, we say, or they don't have that limelight or recognition. So have you ever, while you're playing career or while coaching, have you ever faced any kind of discrimination, or did you feel the visibility which women cricketers have is slightly lesser than the men's cricket?
I will say to certain extent, not I will say discrimination as such, but yeah, it was like people never knew about women's
Right,
cricket
right,
much.
right,
After 2005 World Cup, when the Indian team first went into the World Cup final,
right,
that time also there was not much of a publicity. Yes, there were the news was in the newspapers, news channel and all, but
right,
actually I will say that after 2017 World Cup, many people are in the world, the women's cricket was recognized on a larger scale. Now now you know that there were women's T20 challenges in Pune,
right,
and
right,
I had personally gone to see those matches, and on the last day of final match there were huge crowd cheering all the women cricketers. It was a very good and I will say the sign which definitely will help the, if hopefully the IPL starts next year. So
right.
there are many men franchises who are willing to take up the women's cricket team. So this definitely is a biggest achievement, I will say, for women's cricket.
Yeah, it's a
Also,
big
just to interrupt you, I'll also
yeah,
tell you that when BCCI came into picture, as
hmm,
I said, that players got paid to play.
right,
Also, there were a few openings regarding match referees, scorers, strength and
yeah,
conditioning coaches. So many other opportunities for players who could not reach a certain level but wanted to give contribution in the game. They also got the opportunity, and so that helped the players to be, as I said again, that financially get stable, and also do something for the game they love.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So because of this, there were many job openings as well. Employment increased, opportunities increased, new talent came out, and women started believing that they could make a career, a stable career in sports, which would be financially sound and also recognition. Because now we can see there's Mithali Raj, there is Harmanpreet Kaur, and also there's a movie which is coming up on the life of Jhulan Goswami. So women cricketers are getting the recognition finally, which they deserved, is what I feel. So coming back to the training aspect, so a men, whenever we train for a competition or whenever we train as a player, so there are objectives and goals which we set as individuals, and also a strength and conditioning coach or our coach sets for us. So what difference do the goals and objectives about women and men differ, or what are the objectives which men cricketers or women cricketers put through, or do they train the same?
I don't think there is any difference, because I used to play when I used to practice. I used to practice with boys
Yeah.
at TYC Gymkhana. So
Yeah.
my sir, Mr. Pawan Kulkarni, at that point of time, he was like, if you play well in with these boys, you'll definitely do well in the girls team as well. So there was no difference what training we used to do, what training now these girls do, because it is like, as you must be aware, that even women are hitting sixes at their own game.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll just give you an example. The last match, as I said, about women's T20 match, the finals, Supernova had nine sixes and one boundary. So this itself shows that women and men have equal goals, and
Yeah.
they train the same way.
Yeah, that's really good. So coming back to your journey, you made your Indian debut uh, at 2010. So you started after 10, then you trained with the boys. It's been a struggle, and it's been the journey of full of hard work, and to gain that exposure, a dream which then turned into reality. So can you describe what you really felt wearing that Indian jersey? Because people really relate with the MS Dhoni movie, because when they enter the room and he gets that jersey and the feeling he has, many people connect to that. So did you have the same surreal feeling, or how was the experience when you got that first call that you're in the squad?
I till date I have not been able to express that feeling, but I'll definitely say that it was just an amazing feeling, because you know that you have worked hard, and this you have achieved something in your life, representing your country. That's the biggest achievement, I will say. And it's really, I'm getting goosebumps now also. Now it's been almost 11 years I've made my debut, but that was a great feeling. And I had all the emotions when I played my first match. Mixed emotions. I was tense, I was happy, so I could feel every emotion what a human being can get.
Exactly. So I guess it's a different kind of a feeling when you wear that Indian colors and you represent the entire country on the field. And many players which were there with you also felt the same feeling. Were there many other players who debuted at the time you debuted, or were they experienced players?
No, there were many experienced players. Now there were, of course, Mithali was there, Julan was there, Anjum Chopra was there when I made my debut. So
Yeah.
Nushin was there. So those people, I've been playing with them in the domestic circuit. But definitely when you represent your country, even though these players who are your friends, they
Right.
are there, they made me so at ease, because definitely, first match or when you make your debut, it becomes a bit difficult to get in that soak, that pressure or that happiness. So these
Yeah.
people who were there at me that point of time, even my Maharashtra teammates were there, like Annaga Deshpande was there.
Right.
So many of my friends were there. So thankfully it was not that difficult. But yeah, definitely these people all helped me. My teammates helped me ease that pressure and soak that pressure.
Right. So I guess experienced players are trained to do that, because the way their experiences and the way they are calm in pressure situations really helps other players who make their debut on field. And you had got some wonderful teammates to do that. So moving on, Indian cricket, if we talk about Indian cricket, even if people don't watch cricket much, they would definitely watch India versus Pakistan, and they would definitely sit in front of the TV screen to watch how they perform, or whether it's IPL franchises, Chennai or versus Mumbai. So people, there are some matches which no one wants to miss, and at that
Mm.
time, you played India versus Pakistan. You were the women of the match at that time. So how what was the atmosphere in the dressing room when it comes to other matches and when it comes to India versus Pakistan? Because I'm very sure the coaches, the team, they would know the pressure, and they would know India versus Pakistan is like a celebration for many, is like a different revolution for many, and there would be media watching you. There would be many uh, other international organizations, international news organizations watching you. So all this would be driving your pressure a lot. So what was the atmosphere at that time when you were sitting in the dressing room before the India versus Pakistan match, and how and you got the women of the match? That was a cherry on the cake. So tell us your
Yeah.
experience with it.
I will before I answer this question, I'll tell you one thing. Before the India Pakistan match, previous day I was in the hospital because of food
Oh,
poisoning. So I was on saline. I
oh,
was watching the India West Indies match on internet, and as there was unfortunately no live telecast. After the West Indies match, I was discharged the night of the West Indies match to my hotel. The
right.
next day we had an evening match. So our coach Purnima Rao and Mithali asked me, "Are you sure you are going to play?" I said, "This match I really don't want to miss. So whatever happens, I don't want to miss
Yeah,
that match." So at that point of time, when it comes to India Pakistan, that what we can say, the josh, that automatically comes. You don't have to be told that you have to focus or whatever. That it
right,
just comes automatically to each and every player, and it was an amazing atmosphere. It was everything happening in the game, like as we all know, the kunness thing,
right,
which
right, right.
always it's always there on field, definitely. But it was really a great match, and I guess, if at all I'm right, the last T20 World Cup, India had lost to Pakistan.
Yeah.
So we all were more charged up for the 2014 World Cup match.
Right. So many people have seen on-field rivalries between Indian players and Pakistan players. There were news wherein come up that off-field also there are some fights which take place. But I really want to know what happens behind the scenes with women cricketers, because after the game, India versus Pakistan, when you're on the field, there's pressure, there's adrenaline rushing through you. So it is tend that you tend to fight, or you get that because you all are protecting your nation, whether it's Pakistan players or whether it's Indian players, you're protecting your nation. But what happens off the field? Are you all friends, or is it still a barrier which you can't
No,
cross?
I don't think there is any barrier as such, because now recently when Mithali Raj retired from the
Yeah,
international
yeah, yeah,
circuit, many of the Pakistan players had wished her best wishes for her future and whatever,
right,
And even during the World Cup time, 2000, the 50-over World Cup which held, there were many Pakistan commentators in the commentary box with Anjum Chopra, and so
right.
it's not that there is any barrier as such. There
Mhm.
are many friends between India and Pakistan as well.
Right. So this, I really want to pinpoint this when we are speaking, because many viewers who are watching us, who watch us for the first time as well, they should know it's just about sports. It's just about the passion people have for sports. It's not about a specific rivalry that they carry off the field. So it's when you're playing a sport, you need to protect or represent your own country, and you need to protect it. So you need to make sure that you have that professionalism and that sportsman spirit when you play. Moving on, I am very sure, as you mentioned, you had Mithali in your squad, you had Julian in your squad. So
And
there were,
to top, just to interrupt you, to top of
yeah,
that, I had Purnima Rao as our coach in the 2014 World Cup, who is my mentor. So,
right,
so it was really a great thing having her there.
right,
Sometimes just having such a person, or being
mhm,
my mentor and being the India coach, if she's
right,
there, you get that cushion where you can, a bit more,
feel
not
confident.
relaxed, yeah, to get that confidence as well.
Right. So coming to that, you have shared. stage, or you have shared a platform, or you have shared squad and dressing rooms with such great personalities and such powerful women, I can say. So is that created impact on your mental health or on your performance on field? And what was their mentality? Because they were experienced players, they would have some kind of mentality or some kind of preparatory routines where they used to follow before the match or while the match or after the match. So how did they change you as a player?
See, definitely the way they approach or the way they prepare for a match, it is really, some kind of different from the other players. Definitely, I'll say, people like Julian or people like the players who have achieved something. When I made my debut, there was a lot many senior players. The mental, I will say, the calmness. We have already seen how calm Mithali is when she
Right,
goes into bat or when she is on the field captaining the side.
right,
So this was something which I definitely thought, I just tried out that, yeah, I will also, I cannot be the calm the way she is, definitely, because every individual is different, but at least that kind of approach or the way you prepare, there are individual routines they take place when you have a match or a practice
right,
session.
right,
And no matter what the result of the match is, they still follow the same routine. So
right,
it was really great to watch that, your routine or your practice sessions does not change as per the result of the match. So
right,
these are the things which was really a good thing to learn from all the players.
right. A curious question comes in my mind. Have the women's team practiced or trained with the men's team as well, or do the women's team used to watch men's cricket and try to talk to them? Because we know MS Dhoni is like a benchmark he has created in Indian cricket with his calmness and his tactics. So did women cricketers try to speak with men cricketers to get some tips or regarding strategy or training, etc.? Did it ever happen?
Yeah, it did happen. I guess after my retirement in 2016, when the T20 World Cup was in India with the men, so a lot of women cricketers were interacting with the men cricketers, and many men cricketers like Indian team had come to watch the India Pakistan
Right,
match. I guess it was at Mohali,
right,
or even for that, even when I played, there were few players, India players who were giving us few tips or discussing cricket. It does happen, definitely does
right.
happen.
Right. So that's really good, because there is no discrimination as such between men cricketers and women cricketers, and they respect you
Yeah,
all. It's about the game, and because both
exactly.
of you all are represent the country, so that's really commendable. So with this illustrious career, with this commendable career which you had, I'm very sure there would be some downfalls, there would be some injuries, there would be some, like you mentioned, you were hospitalized before the India versus Pakistan game. So all this thing adds to your downfall. And at that time, as players, it is very important to build that self confidence and to be self motivated at this point. But how did you handle this downfall or all these things, and you tried to reach on the top again? How did you do that?
See, I had a major ACL injury in 2011
Yeah,
during a domestic match, and I had to miss the England series, the many series, and two World Cups I missed. So
right,
it was definitely a big thing for me because after that injury, I was out of the game for almost 8 to 9 months.
right,
So I had my knee operated, and then I have to come back, play domestic season, and then make a comeback. So when you are confident about what you are practicing, what you are the process, as everyone
right,
says, focus on the process, follow the process.
right,
But yeah, definitely at one point of time it does feel when you are not selected
right,
after performing also, that does this injury is creating something in the mind of some people. But when you in your mind are aware and you're confident about that, what you're going to do is going to help you out, or what you're this is what you're making, the process is definitely going to help you. This When this confidence you have at the back of your mind, it definitely motivates you. And there were definitely, my husband was at that point of time who helped me, uh, who made sure that I was in a right
right,
mindset that I can do that comeback again. As I said, my parents, my in-laws, my friends, and there were many other relatives of mine who were very sure about me, but when I was not sure. So this is what helped me and motivated me to make that comeback in 2014.
That's really good. But as you mentioned, you were out of cricket for 8 to 9 months when you were in your injury. So at that time, you always are the one who watches cricket out from outside the field, and you know what is going on, but through outside, through a different eyes. And at that time, I'm very sure there would be new players or new talent who would be coming in, and there would be new players who would be getting selected in the squad, or your replacement. There would be many. So at that time, what was going on in your mind? Do you ever feel that would you ever get a chance to make a comeback? What was going on at that time? Because that is the time when players lose most of the confidence, and because of the injury they give up on the sport they like to play for the rest of their lives. But what was going on in your mind at that point?
Yeah, definitely, because when I had operated the knee ACL injury, after the operation, I had to start from scratch, start from learning to walk, learning to run. At one point of time, even I had a doubt whether I'll be able to run the way I used to run previously.
Right.
At that point of time, many new faces definitely entered. But, back of the mind, I was, I won't say worried, but yeah, definitely, there are going to be new players, this which I,
Mhm.
of course, I knew it, and every player knows it. But I was more worried how I can get into the process and make a comeback, because that was more important for me rather who is playing or replacing me at that point of time. So there were many ups and downs. I will not deny that, because as I said, I had a doubt on myself whether I'll be able to run again or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the most important thing, which was troubling me at that point more than who is replacing me in the team or not. But
Right.
thankfully I could just make a comeback and have a nice outing there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what a true warrior is meant of. And we are really thankful for your services to the nation and the way you have played it. So cricket has changed since you started. So while you started cricket, and now as we see, with BCCI closing 48,000 crores deals for IPL, so it has really changed. The visibility we have for cricket has really changed over time. And what has changed according to you? Because as we watch cricket, because I play football, so I don't watch cricket that much. But often when we scroll news, we there is something or the other we see about cricketers, we see about some life of cricketers, or about some IPL, or about the Indian cricket team. So Indian cricket has got huge limelight, and after the closing of this deal by BCCI, the limelight has increased. So, what has changed according to you in Indian cricket, and what did BCCI do right?
See, now the way you market a sport,
Right.
it is extremely important. And definitely I'll say the performance of the players, the standards the players have set, let that be men or women, this has helped a lot. Unless and until you do something from the players point of view, you win matches, you keep on winning matches, consistency is what you need when you have to market a sport at a higher level.
Exactly.
Because winning one series, losing two three series, when we take a certain player at that point of time, also you look at consistency.
Right.
So as a team, definitely, this is the thing which I guess helped the BCCI as well and the players as well, because the best thing happened is we could watch women's cricket on Star Sports, like Hotstar,
Right.
Star Sports. So that is what I said, that marketing the sport or promoting a sport the way the BCCI has done it is just amazing.
Right.
It's very commendable from women's cricketers' point of view as well as a overall cricketers' point of view.
Right, exactly. Because we have also seen women cricketers coming in the Kapil Sharma show as well. So
Yeah,
women cricketers have are getting that recognition, which they really need, and which they really should do, because women cricketers are also performing very consistently in women's cricket. So the final question, which many viewers really want to know, is what it takes to go to the bigger platform, or to become a professional cricketer. What is your secret guide to success?
I will definitely say that just enjoy whatever you are playing, any which sport I'll say that, not only cricket, but if it comes to cricket, definitely I'll say enjoy the game and keep believing yourself and follow the process. Because if you are, you know, I won't say no, not to aim to play for India, but go step by step, because dreaming and achieving one thing is one thing, and actually working on it is another thing. So if you work on a particular small goals step by step, definitely you'll achieve that bigger goal which you have in your mind.
Right, exactly. So with this, guys, I hope you all have noted down this thing, and we are really truly honored to have you on this show again. So thank you for your time, and thank you guys for watching this episode, and we'll meet you on the next episode. So thank you, ma'am, for coming on this
Thank
show,
you so
and we are
much.
really honored to have you.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.